Whoop, whoop. Look at that clue. My favorite clue from now on. Oh man. He left a note. Just gotta get back to it. Eroded Canyon. Daring Thunder Thief enters the battlefield tap, but he has Flash, so you can play it at the end of the opponent's turn, and then all of a sudden you got a 4/4 coming in. Rogue seems pretty good. Primal Command. Modal. 3 green green. Choose 2. Target player gains 7 life. Put target non-creature permanent on top of its owner's library. Target player shuffles a graveyard into their library, or search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. If you're on that budget strategy, shuffling in someone's opponent's library to their grave, maybe even your own, shuffling your own graveyard into your library could be beneficial. But getting a creature card, revealing it, putting it in your hand, definitely one of those that you'll probably choose each time. And there we go, the Scorpion Dragon Rogue. Akul, the Unrepentant, black, red, red, Scorpion Dragon Rogue, 5/5 legendary creature, flying and trample. Sacrifice 3 other creatures. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery and only once each turn. Yep, he's going to get those giant threats from your hand onto the battlefield right away. You just got to play black and red. Very cool rare to get. Oh, I thought he was a mythic. Man, he seems super cool. I'm a big fan. Lava Spur Boots, ward 1 in haste. 1 to play and 1 to equip. Not bad for what it does. Rectus Robber. Enters the battlefield if a creature died. Created 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature token. You can plot it for 2 and a black. Just one less than normal. Gila Courser. Attacks if saddled, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Saddle for 1. Nice. I think one of the better saddles. And we got ourselves an Ankle Biter. Nice. The Surprise. Interference. Gulpan. Good and limited. The Brandit. And the Dillo. Armadillo. Armadillo. Alright, let's see here. Look at that. Look at that art. Vanishing Verse. Ooh, Rush to the Dread foiled. Happy to pull this. Definitely putting in that deck. Foil rare. I'll put you in the mythic pile. Heartless Pillage. Actually decent. Gives you a treasure token if you attack this turn, which you probably will be. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Good in limited. Let's put you over here. Put that in. Good old Screw the Critics. Hell to Pay. X in red. Deals X damage to target creature. Create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the amount of excess damage that was dealt this way. So you can store up a bunch of treasure tokens by dealing extra damage to a creature. It seems not bad, especially if you're trying real hard to get treasure tokens. I shot the sheriff. Now where is that deputy? That was terrible. Instant destroy target non-outlaw creature. Actually, might see play out in different formats, but I think we're gonna notice that there's a lot of creatures out there that are assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks. Probably rogues is gonna pop up the most. Pirates sometimes, but yeah. There's not a lot of creatures out there, commanders and whatnot, that have that. So this, I think, is going to be pretty premium removal. Rotting Sphinx, committed crime, surveil 2, a big flyer in the air. Form a posse. X red and white, create X/1/1 red mercenary creature tokens. Sweet. I'm going to put this in my Boros deck, my Boros Cards Matter deck. Ankle Biter, Gulpan, Veiled Fording, Security, Highway Robbery, and the Naturalist. Nice. Yeah, Form Posse seems good. if you're trying to do the token strat, get as many tokens as possible. And that pump isn't nothing to sneeze at. You got a flyer. Ooh, all right. I think, did we get it? We got the island. Hold up. Look at that. You love to see it. Love to see it. Quick draw. Foil. Humiliate. A Sword of Wealth and Power from the vault, so not normal, as we saw with some of these others here, but Sword of Wealth and Power, one of the better vault cards, better cards in the entire set, I would say. Sword of Wealth and Power for 3. Equip 2. Equipped creature has +2/+2 in protection from instants and sorceries. Whenever equipped creature deals damage to a player, create a treasure token. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. If you're playing instant and sorceries, you want to play this in your deck. If you're doing something with creatures, any kind of attacks with creatures, very great sorcery or instant speak spell coming next. Yeah, very cool to see Sword of Wealth and Power. One of the better, more stronger cards in the set, I'd say, too. Great Train Heist, one of the better cards in the entire set. For 1 red, you can then choose to either pay 2 in a red, untap all creatures you control. If it's your combat phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. And then +2, or just red and 2. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. And then red and a red, choose target opponent. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to that player this turn, create a tapped treasure token. Or, during your combat, you can pay red, 2 in red, untap all creatures. There's an additional combat phase after this. Give them all +1/+0 and first strike, and choose an opponent. So in other words, targeting, committing a crime. Whenever a creature you control deals damage to a player this turn, create a tapped treasure token. So you can get all of that for 1, +3 for 4, +2 for 6, plus red for 7. But in a lot of cases, for 5, you can get a bunch of treasure tokens and untap all your creatures and get an extra combat. Or just go for the extra combat, or just get that damage in for 3. That might be all you need to get the game. So this Great Train Heist, one of the better cards in the set. Really happy to see it. Gonna be putting it in some decks. Gotta put it in some decks out there. We got a Homerid Mercenary. Commits crimes. Each opponent mills 3 cards. Activates only once each turn. Seems decent if you're trying to do the mill strat. Magebrain Lizard, though, this is one of those that I'm going to see in Commander. One of the better stacked cards, I'd say, out of the entire set. The 1 in a red, whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, deals damage to that player equal to the number of non-creature spells that they've cast this turn. Very good card. Going to be putting it in a couple different Commander decks. We got Miriam again. Blessed by the Law. Ooh, a new card. Flying. When it enters, tap a permanent, and then you can pay 2 in a blue to draw a card, then discard. Notable 1/1 bird. Maybe it'll see some play in some Boom Barrel cards too in the future. Let's go here. Next pack. Thanks for sticking in for each part here. Ooh, we got the bear. The Barely Bear. Got a mountain. Full arm mountain. Happy to see him. Bristleback Sentry, 2 and a Defender. As long as you control a creature with power 4 or greater, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Okay. Essence Capture. Counter target creature spell. Put a counter on target creature, up to 1 target creature you control. Seems good. Good reprint. Ooh, I think this is one of the better guys. 2 and a green. When he enters the battlefield, add 1 mana of any color. Whenever another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. He's got plot 2 and a green. So you can play this early for plot. You put him to the side. and then cast him for free on another turn, add a mana of any color, and then if you, while he's on the battlefield, whenever another creature 4 or greater enters, you draw a card. Seems like you can set up your plays so you can get a lot of value out of that. One of the better plot cards I'd seen so far. Thresh the town. Target creature gains trample for 2, or for green and a 2, counter. Or until end of turn, target creature gains when this creature deals combat damage to player. Draw 2 cards. Wow. Okay. 1 target creature, but seems good. Crom. From the old school Crom. 2 blue and red, flying, 2/3 zombie horror. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a counter on him and draw a card. Seems good. Seems good. Lively Dirge, very good. So 1 black and just 1. You can search your library for a card and put it in your graveyard and shuffle at sorcery speed. And you could return up to 2 target creatures with total amount of 4 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. You can set up everything you need just with this card. And don't forget, you can get 1 card of the combo and then already have the other card in your graveyard and get both of them back out. So this could be a one card combo, all on its own. So one of the better cards that I'm going to be putting in a commander deck as well. Got the Vampire, the Conduits. This goes and gets a basic land or desert card and puts it on the battlefield. Or you can create an XX green elemental creature token where X is the number of lands. Or maybe even both, if you want to. Ooh. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, add red. For 4 mana, I don't think it's going to see a lot of play in other formats, but if you're in a budget Spellslinger deck, that's the kind of card that you want. So, seems pretty great. Right, let's see what we got next here. Ooh, we got another, oh, we got a signed Contagion Engine. Didn't we get a Contagion Engine? Yeah, we did. With so few art cards out there, it's kind of crazy. Cool signature. And we got a full art forest. Nice. Outlaw Stitcher. Enters battlefield, created 2/2 black and blue zombie rogue creature token and put 2 counters on that token for each spell you cast this turn other than the first. Interesting. Okay. Seems decent. And Reanimate. I was really hoping to pull this guy. Instead of going out and buying one, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Any graveyard. You lose life equal to its mana value. Very cool to see a reprint of Reanimate. I'm looking forward to playing this card in Commander. Lila. Prowess. Whenever you cast a multicolored instant or sorcery from your hand, exile that spell instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. If you do, it becomes plotted. So you can immediately cast it instead of putting it in the graveyard after you've cast it. As it resolves. Yep. So it resolves first, and then if you do, you plot it so you can play it for free on the next turn. So that sounds like a lot of fun. Probably some fun commander decks out of that. Map the Frontier. Your standard 4 mana get 2 lands and put them on the battlefield tapped. And it could be deserts. Always good to take note of those. Blood Hustler. Commit a crime, put a counter once each turn. And it's got a way to trigger crimes. Opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1. Seems good. Doc Arlock, the Grizzled Genius. Simicolors. Spells you cast from your graveyard or from exile cost 2 less to cast. Like they added the graveyard in there. Plotting cards from your hand costs 2 less to cast. This could see some broken stuff. So this will enable some broken things happening. Doc Arlock seems fun. Corrupted Conviction. Additional cost to cast a spell. Sack a creature. Draw 2 cards. Classic better goodie. Trained Arnix. Good and limited. Enters the battlefield, target player draws a card and loses 1 life if they've already If they're pretty low and you just need to commit some crimes, not a bad thing to do that in limited. Or you can just hit yourself with it. Get yourself some card draw. All seems worth it. The Kid. The one and only. Mountain. Steer clear. Fling. Look at that. Look at that skull. He just chucked it. Fibblethip. Lost on the range. But I found him. Cool to see Fibblethip. One, a blue and blue. Legendary creature homunculus 1/1. He's got ward 2 this time. So it's going to be hard to cast anything that targets this guy. But you may look at the top card of your library anytime. The top card of your library has plot. The plot cost is equal to its mana cost. You may plot non-land cards from the top of your library face up. So your opponents know what it is, and you can't play it that turn. But if you're playing a deck where there's a bunch of spells or something that's just 0 mana, 1 mana, really low cost, you can just get through a ton of cards off the top of your library that you're going to cast for free the next turn. So this sets up a lot of things in decks that are made to work with low mana, low costed things. I'm not sure how many decks want this, how many decks out there are going to try to play this, but in my Cheerios artifact deck, Emery deck, I'm absolutely going to be putting this in. Just getting 2 or 3 mana rocks or just low cost 0 artifacts off the top of my library that I'm going to play for free the next turn when I didn't have access to it that turn seems very good. So I'm very happy to see this guy. Going to be putting him in a couple decks. Let's put him up here. But yep. One of the more expensive cards in the set as well. But let's go ahead on. The Fleeting Reflection seems decent. Jolene. Whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, the power 4 or greater, treasure token. And then you can pay 1 in a red, sack a treasure. Deal 1 damage to any target. And it's a 4/2. So in the 4 matters decks, this will come in play. But it seems fun in different types of builds. Outlaws Fury, great and limited. +2/+0 on the team, that they were all pretty low anyway, so they weren't expecting a big swing, and then all of a sudden their 1/1 mercenaries are all 3/1s. And you get a couple extra, you get a card off the top of your library, you can use that turn or the next. Get some counters. One of the better saddle creatures, in my opinion. And the Naturalist, Sterling Keeper. Nice. Right. Let's see here. Guys, that was a bat. The Gulch. Ooh, Satoru, the Infiltrator. A black and a blue. A 2/3 Ninja Rogue, human, menace. When he and or 1 or more non-token creatures enter the battlefield under your control, if none of them were cast or no mana was spent to cast them, draw a card. So any ninjutsu stuff is going to get you card draw off this. So those ninja decks are going to want to look for this. Seems decent. Seems decent. And we got ourselves an Abrupt Decay. Sweet, haven't had one of these for a while. But black and a green. This spell can't be countered. Destroy target non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less. Very good. Happy to see it. Ooh, and we got ourselves Karvek the Punisher in the wanted poster frame. Legendary creature, human warlock. 1, a black and a black. Whenever you commit a crime, exile up to 1 target black card from your graveyard and copy it. You may cast a copy. If you do, you lose 2 life. Sweet, he's the we saw him in the normal frame up above. So I'm definitely going to be putting this in a deck, or maybe even make a deck around him. We'll see. But I think he seems like a lot of fun. Going to be playing with him soon. Love the wanted art on that. And we got a really cool new card, Step Between Worlds. 3 and a blue and a blue. Basically, time walk or time twister. Each player may shuffle their hand and graveyard into the library. They may, keyword may. Each player who does draws 7 cards, and then you exile this, and you can plot this for 4 in 2 blue. So, interesting card. People will probably play it for different reasons. May want to just do their own deck and shuffle this in. Oh no, I'm sorry. This gets exiled and the rest shuffles in. But yeah, seems like a fun card. People may play it, they may not. Not time twist or anything, but it works about the same. So we'll see how that goes. 2 mana, put target card from your graveyard on the bottom. This is one of those cards that can keep you from dying if you're really milling out your library or just trying to get cards back on into your library again. Metamorphic Blast. 1 in a blue, you can make target creature become a white rabbit with base power and toughness 0/1. And if you have the mana, you can pay an extra 3 and target player draws 2 cards. I would not do the 4 mana instant speed draw 2 by itself. That doesn't seem like it's worth it, but if you can make one of their huge 5/5s or a giant flyer into a 0/1 rabbit after they've blocked, this is going to be a 2 mana removal spell in blue along with some card draw, so very good and limited if nothing else. Enters the battlefield, create a mercenary, and whenever an outlaw you control dies, his opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Haven't seen this yet. This seems like a really good card for the outlaw deck. So we got the Punisher, the Bighorn. When he attacks while saddled, to create a white sheep. Good old sheep. All right, let's get to some of these cards. But sweet, we've been seeing a lot of great cards so far. Great mythics, great rares. What we haven't seen yet? Haven't seen the. We got the nice legendary Scorpion Dragon guy, but there's a big dragon, a mono red dragon I'd love to see. And a couple of those artifact cards as well. Could be a lot of fun. This just does not want to open. Alright. Here's the pull tab. There we go. Okay. We got it. Look at that elk in his majesty. Are we going to see Oko? I'm feeling Oko. Tyrant Scorn. What were those over there? Elk. Tyrant Scorn. Blue and a black. Destroy target creature with mana value 3 or less. Or return target creature to its owner's hand. This is going to be good in standard, I think. Ooh, Rakdos joins up. The muscle! When you enter the battlefield, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield with 2 additional counters on it. Whenever a legendary creature you control dies, joins up, deals damage equal to the creature's power to target opponent. Seems pretty good. I like some of the join up cards. Precocious Entertainer. Them Ivories. Attacks create a treasure token for each creature that crewed this turn, which could be a lot of treasures. So you can just tap your whole team into this and make a ton of treasures. I feel like Magda would want this, right? Like you'd play this for 5, right? That's a lot, but then you tap all of your dwarves into this, and then you attack with it, right? Oh, activate only once each turn. Why'd you have to do that? Seems decent. Neutralize the guards. Target opponent controls. All creatures target opponent controls get -1/-1. And Surveil too. Seems like a good card. Take for a ride. It can gain flash if you committed a crime, so you can take it on their turn. Fun. Take some blockers. The Conduit. Oh, let's put these in here. Yeah, those look good. The Bighorn. Make some sheep. Some tumbleweeds. There we go. Treasure. Forest. Blinding binding negotiations. Seems fun. Malcolm the Eyes. Blue and a red. Flying haste whenever you cast second spell each turn. Investigate. Cool. And we got ourselves a second rare. Pillage the Bog. Black and a green. Sorcery. I think this is one of the stronger ones too. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is twice the number of lands you control. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. And you can plot it for one more mana, one black and green. So you can plot this early and save it until you have a bunch of lands. Maybe you get a bunch of lands from some kind of land deck, some kind of green card that fetches all the force in your library. Put them on the battlefield, then cast this for free and look at the top X cards and put that card in your hand. It's basically like look at half your library and put that one of those cards in your hand. This I think is going to be, people are saying it's kind of like a tutor, pretty powerful tutor. And we got ourselves a Grom again, cool. Gorzer, the Sentry, the Jin, good old Gila, and the Wingsmith. All right. Well, we're getting to the end of the packs here. Thanks again for watching today. I'll probably split this into a couple parts. If you've been watching the video so far, please like and subscribe. Helps out a ton with the channel. Sweet. We got Baron, Betram, Greywater. You can sack creatures for drawing cards. Seems decent. Decimate. 2 red and a green. Destroy target artifact, target creature, target enchantment, and target land. So you can get all 4 of those. Seems fun. Calamity, Galloping Inferno. 4 and red, horse mount, 4/6, haste. When he attacks while saddled, choose a non-legendary creature that's saddled this turn and create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. Sacrifice that token at the copy at the beginning of the next step. Repeat this process once. So you do that once and then okay. Go ahead and break it. It's a lot of mana, but seems like fun. Plan the Heist. This is one of the cool plot cards that you can plot for 3 and 1 blue, or you can pay 2 blue. Surveil 3 if you have no cards in hand, then draw 3 cards. So it's one of those things that you can plot it for now, and then later when you really need those cards or need the advantage, then go and outcast Screamblade. When he enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land or desert, reveal it and put it in your hand. He gets 1/1 for each desert. Cool. The Deputy. The Strix. And then Snakeskin Veil. Counter input a hex, and that gains hexproof. Seems decent. Alright.